Okay, so for this week's video is going to be what I'm considering to be one last hurrah with this, and it is the Tamiya Manta Ray. Basically, I bought this on Amazon after seeing it quite cheap, £118 for the kit. And I did also make a few modifications to it, like mainly having the Horrah C15 turn, higher amperage ESC, and also a Metal Gear servo. There's not really actually a lot of hop-ups in this. The thing I did do, however, I used different shock oil. I used associated shock oil, which has improved the suspension a lot. But the reason why I'm calling this one last hurrah is because I'm actually going to be selling this. And the reason for selling this is because I don't feel that it quite serves the purpose for what I originally bought it for. Now, the original reason why I bought this was for vintage radio control racing, because I did previously race the Baja Champ TL01B, which was my first ever hobby grade RC car. However, it's not quite suited for racing, regardless of probably what motor. I don't really want to put a 10.5 turn brushless motor in it because I'm worried I'll probably blow the thing apart and strip all the gears inside. But also because of the sentimental value of the TL01B, I will not be racing with it. But anyone who has seen the video or was at the event where it did race at will know why I'm not racing with that. So I did buy this, but I do not feel that it's going to quite serve the purpose, purely because it's not quite robust enough as it is, and I would need to put a lot of hop-ups on this in order to racing, so I'm not willing to throw money at this. Instead, I'm going to buy something that's more suited for racing, and I'll get to that in a bit. But for starters, I just want to do a little quick overview of the buggy itself. Okay, so to start off with, one of the things that I've decided to do with this, I've taken out the FlySky receiver, and I've placed in it this E-Tronics Pulse radio gear. Now, this originally came with the FTX Ram Raider. However, I decided to take this out and replace it with FlySky, so I can use my GT3B with it. So that means fewer trends, because the original plan was to sell this alone. However, I did decide to pair this with the Manta Ray because I felt there was a bit more money in this. So I'll take the rear body clip off. Now, one of the things basically, because of the design of the body, means that I can't use this size clips. I have to use one of these much smaller clips. So what I've done is I put a bit of cable tie so it's a lot easier to take off. And I also did trim the front of it so that it's a lot easier to take the body off. So, bit of an overview. You can see the pulse receiver in there. That's threaded up into the antenna pipe. Now, I've also got, as you can see in there, the Horrah C15 turn, as well as the Sido 80 amp Smart ESC, a power switch there, and also a Metal Gear servo there. Now, the shock wall it was slacking a little bit around the back. That's still kind of the case, but it's better. It's not as good as it should be, but it is a lot better than what it was like previously. Now, one of the things I also want to point out as well, one of the hop-up options I think I would definitely have to do is the propeller shaft, because I do not feel that's, when I first looked at that, I thought, well, that can't be the propeller shaft, but it is. Also, a few hop-ups. If I were to race with this would be vulnerable at the front. But also, from what I've seen from photos in the iconic Facebook group, was this part round here has been skeptical to break, as well as also maybe here at the front as well. I did ask in the Facebook group for any photos of damage sustained by the Manta Ray out onto the track. So if there are any, here they are. Yeah, so that is pretty much why I'm a bit worried about putting this out onto the track. But I just thought it's good for having a little bit of fun with, but it's not the reason why I bought this. So basically the plan is for this is just basically take it up the park, have one last drive with this, just have a little bit of fun, because I don't really think I've had a proper drive with this particular buggy, so this is going to be a lot of fun. So on that note... Okay, so having said all of that, let's take this out to my local playing fields and let's have one last hurrah with the Tamiya Manta Ray. I don't know if I'm the only one that does this, but I just like carrying the Manta Ray with this hook that's on the back, and I have no idea why I do it. It's just probably because it makes it a little bit comfortable, but then again, it is a little bit of a squeeze on my thumb. But then I just realised I'll have to put it down because I can't really do it. I've got the remote carried in my arm. Yeah, that'll just about do it. So it's nice to carry the Manta Ray. But let's take it over to the playing fields to see how this thing really handles. Alright, so I've got the car turned on, and this is actually the first time I've properly driven it with the e-tronics Pulse EX4 GT. I did test it out for a little bit in my living room, but I was very gentle on the controls. So getting a little bit warmed up. And that's at full throttle, so that has got some good pace to it. But also that's the huge benefit of the e-tronics transmitter, is I can just hold it and drive at the same time. Because unlike my two FlySky transmitters, I'm unable to do this. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So just when I thought I had the park all to myself, somebody came rocking up with their dog. So I want to try and steer clear of that. Because dogs and radio controlled cars sometimes are not the greatest of combos. Just want to see how it gets on the tarmac quickly. Whoa, let's try it on a much harder surface. One thing I also want to do is just test out the range of the e-tronics radio gear. So I'm going to try going all the way down there. I tried that with the Plasma Edge a couple of weeks ago, but I think it was the receiver more than anything was having none of it. Okay, so I've still got good response there. That's quite a way away, and just so good range on that. What the hell was that? Okay, now that is interesting. I'm just going to put the transmitter down just so you can see, but this is actually fixed. This is chains down. Now that's probably an accident waiting to happen, because if somebody's child comes running around, that's not good. Yeah, that's a trip hazard waiting. Was that changed in? Where's that chained in from? It's changed in from there. Actually, I'm wondering if I can just move the, somebody's forgotten their jumper. I don't know whose that is. What the hell? Okay, so I did try to move this bench, but I think it's going to be a 2 or 3 man job, because I tried to shift it along so that this would be underneath and that this chain would not be a trip hazard, but Peasdown Borough Council, you really need to sort this out. And something else happened as well. The antenna pipe, gone. keep losing my bloody antenna, but that's the only problem with these, with Tamiyas, is that the antenna pipes just don't stick in very well. I should have really put some hot glue on there earlier, because that typically does the job. Oh well, I've always got some spares back at home. Okay, so I didn't keep track of how long that was, but I'm at full throttle and it has gone into lipo safe mode. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to leave it right there because I don't want to end up killing that pack. I haven't brought the balance checker with me, so I will see what the percentage is when I get back. Oh my god. So that's alarming. So I did not intend on going to get anywhere near that low. I think that's the problem with having a Core RC 15 ton on a 3200 milliamp lipo, because obviously being the lower the turns, the more power it packs and more speed, but it also means the fewer turns, the fewer the efficiency. So I'm glad I just stopped where I did and didn't carry on driving it home on lipo mode, but that's worrying. Anyway, that was fun. And there you have it. That was one last hurrah with the Manta Ray. Now, going back as to why I'm selling this, basically I thought it would be better to not throw any more money at this in terms of hop-up wise, because hop-ups I would need to spend a lot of time looking into. Instead, I am actually going to be replacing this with something that's going to be more robust and more suited for being out onto the track. Now, in terms of what those will be, I was actually torn between either one or two things. The Tamiya Top Force, which was basically this, but with all of the hop-ups, or the Schumacher Pro Cat. And after running a poll in the Iconic RC Facebook group, as well as some of the comments that I received on that poll, the buggy that will be replacing this will in fact be the Schumacher Pro Cat, and I'm actually really excited about this. It will be only ever the second Schumacher kit that I've bought. There is one I did end up buying, but I want to save that for a later video because it's one that's been discontinued. It was released in 2010, and getting it was like gold dust because it was on, when I was looking up while I was at the place I bought it, it was on RC Scrapyards, and anything that's on there is either incredibly difficult and impossible to buy brand new. So that I'm actually very excited about, and it's one that quite a few people were actually surprised to end up getting hold of that, so I will save that for that video. You'll see what that is, and some may get some hints or probably may know about what it is that I've bought. But yeah, I feel like the Pro Cat is going to be a worthy successor because I've heard really good things about the Pro Cat, and I do want to start buying more Schumachers because I'm kind of shifting away from Tamiya, only because of the... don't get me wrong, I do like Tamiyas, and this, when I drove this out, it was really fun and does actually drive very nicely. But in terms of racing, I need to make room for the Pro Cat, and unfortunately I'm going to have to sacrifice this. And at times in life, there are some things in life where I do look back and things and wonder, okay, why did I sell that and I regret selling this? But truthfully, when it comes to this, given the fact that I've not actually had this for a year, and given how new... Actually, there's one thing I didn't actually talk about. It is still in like new condition because there's barely any scratches. In fact, there's only like a few minor scratches, but it's pretty much unnoticeable. So it is still amazingly in like new condition. But when it comes to the Pro Cat, that will be the thing that I will look at. I was like, okay, that is why I sold this. And it's almost like I never bought this. I'm going to be a little bit sad to let go of this, but not sad enough to regret it in the future, I think, because when I do get the Pro Cat, it will be a perfect reflection as to why I did sell this in the first place. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Next week's video, there is an idea that I'm toying with, and it's about Spectrum, because there was a Spectrum in here somewhere, but I want to make that video because I want to talk about why I am done with Spectrum and why I am moving away from Spectrum brands and also transmitters and receivers that have the DSM2, DSMX or DSMP technology. But that will be hopefully for next week's video. On that note, thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully with a bit of luck, see you next week.